Hello y'all, this is Killa Champloo here reviewing Sakamoto Days Chapter 194. So we start off the chapter where we left off last week. Tenkyu activated his Sakamoto Days Sharingan and sniped Shin with an arrow from a crazy long distance. You remember that? How he twisted the string on his bow around his arrow? The same string that couldn't be moved by a level 2 prisoner using a sword? Now he shoots another one and immediately gives up. I'm not an assassin, so maybe I don't know any better, but why did he need to close the distance? Shin had no real way of blocking or dodging, so he was basically a sitting duck. Tenkyu mentioned that opening both of his eyes made him feel nauseous, so I thought that would be the reason, but he kept it open for the rest of the chapter, even when he fought at short range, so I guess that's not it. Anyway, Shin can barely move, so with no other options, he uses his mind control on himself again, and it works. It's explained that Shin's ability works by sending electric signals to the basal ganglia of the brain. For those of you who haven't taken an anatomy course, the basal ganglia controls voluntary movement by selecting which actions to allow and which ones to inhibit. A damaged basal ganglia can lead to various neurological and cognitive issues including movement difficulties, speech impairments, abnormal posture, memory problems, balance and coordination challenges, and deficits in executive functions like attention, planning, and decision making. Shin hijacks the body for 1 second to control it, but because of the body's natural defenses, it can't be done again. Basically Lelouch's ability from Code Geass. This explains his encounters with order level people with trained instincts like Haruma and Tenkyu, but I wonder if he can spam it on normal people. Probably not. If Shin uses it on himself, however, those natural defenses won't come up, so he can just keep on spamming it over and over. He doesn't get the mechanisms behind it, but he's just rolling with it. I hope he's not stupid enough to spam this shit, because based on what I read, messing with this can low-key cripple him. Shin commands himself to fight, and he punches Tenkyu hard as hell, knocking him through steel beams. Tenkyu loses a tooth, but this is anime, so even though he got punched in the face, he actually lost a molar instead of his front teeth. He won't miss it, guys, don't worry. He shoots it back at Shin. This is a surprising bit of damage, but I gotta stop and say, in terms of fighting style, Tenkyu's the most fleshed out, well-developed, and adaptable fighter, right? With everything we've seen him do, this is what's surprising me the most because I've tried archery before. Do you know how hard it is to aim something without guidance from the bow and only the string? I guess it helps that it's something small, but still, that's insane. Shin realizes that even if he pushes his body to the limits, he still won't be as strong and fast as Tenkyu, so he has the genius idea to directly control his mind instead of his body. He proceeds to push his brain to peak speed. Damn, my basal ganglia is just aching reading this. Shin starts to see everything in slow motion, and when he does, he sees Tenkyu's arrow that he either just sculpted or pulled out of his ass. He grabs it in a nick of time before it can penetrate his eye, but there's still a 50% chance that the booty hole crumbs came out of the arrow and into his eye, so he's not out of the woods yet. He uses said arrow to speed blitz him and slice him up, giving him a taste of his own medicine. He slices his eye too, so there's a chance we just lost our only Sakamoto Days Sharingan ripoff. Maybe Heisuke will pull out something in the future, who knows. Anyways, Shin starts crying when face to face with Tenkyu as he's about to execute him. He's sad over the fact that he's really not the type to hesitate to kill people, as he's actively hesitating to kill the most dangerous character in the series, besides Lu. Tenkyu tries to outmaneuver Shin but fails. Shin's about to kill him, but Sakamoto shows up in a nick of time to hold Shin's hand back before he stabs Tenkyu with it. Sakamoto sure is lucky Shin hesitated to kill that guy. I already knew Shin wasn't going to kill Tenkyu, and I could easily see Sakamoto hearing Shin out and finding an alternative to killing. Tenkyu's going to make it easier to catch Sakamoto up too. Bro is not denying shit. Last chapter, Tenkyu took in everything Shin said and asked him if there was any difference between him and Shin. Shin said there isn't and that they're both assassins. People have problems with this in all forms of media, and I even saw people last week getting pissed off about this online. Shin isn't on Tenkyu's level, however, I feel like it's important to have the good guys in stories hold themselves to higher standards. There's no reason why the good guys should be anywhere near as close to the psychos they're trying to beat. Fuck moral grays. I feel like this is going to be the main subject of what Sakamoto is going to talk about with Shin next chapter, and I don't think Shin is splitting up from the store. The way that the story's headed, the end of Shin's character arc is of him becoming a person like Sakamoto, who has the power to protect all of his loved ones without killing and making friends out of enemies along the way. Him splitting up from everyone doesn't really go in the direction of that, in the way I see it. I mean, we're nearing the end of the story, final arc, conflict with X, a whole can of worms. I just don't think there's really a time and a place for that. Anyways, that's all for Sakamoto Days Chapter 194. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe because I plan on producing a whole bunch more content. I'm just getting started. This is Killa Champloo taking to my exit.